Israel is running into an existential crisis, or can see one down the road, not because Iran might get one nuclear weapon when Israel has hundreds, or at least more than 100, and has made clear it'll use them if it sees any threat to its existence. But what's more of an existential crisis is the Palestinian people, because they have no just solution for that, and because of the conditions they put the Palestinian people in. The Palestinian population in the area is growing much faster than the Jewish population, and so this whole thing that they set up of Israel is a democratic Jewish state. Those things are coming acutely into contradiction, because the more that the Palestinian population grows, not only within Israel itself, but also in the surrounding occupied territories, the more the democratic part comes under threat, because you could envision a situation if they, for example, were to absorb all these occupied territories and make them part of Israel. The Jewish population could get to a situation where it would be outnumbered by the Palestinian population, and they're not going to allow the democratic process to take place under those conditions, because it would be the end of a Jewish state, a Zionist state, which is a form of racism and apartheid as practiced there. And really the answer there is to get rid of the Zionist system in Israel, not the Jews. There is no question that what has happened to Jewish people throughout history, culminating in a definite phase in the Holocaust, where yes, millions and millions and millions were slaughtered in the most horrific way and in an almost industrial way. There is no question that is one of the greatest crimes in the history of humanity. But as I said a couple of years ago in a dialogue I did with Cornel West, there are two responses to that among the Jewish people and more generally. One is never again, meaning never again can this happen not only to us but to any people anywhere. And the other one is, because of that whole history, anything we do to anybody else is justified, including our horrific treatment of the Palestinians. And it's the former that needs to win out over the latter, but it's the latter, the anything is justified, that's dominant now and completely in Israel. And there is neither a justification nor ultimately a viability to having a Zionist state there. What you need to have is a state that's a secular state, that's a non-religious state, a state that doesn't favor one people over another. I mean, there used to be a joke. I don't know the degree to which it's still applicable, because there's been a real growth of religious fundamentalism in Israel in recent decades. But there used to be this joke, which had real meaning, that most people in Israel, most Jews in Israel, don't believe in God, but they do know that He promised him the state of Israel. And that used to be a contradiction. Now there's a lot more religious fundamentalism among the Jewish population in Israel. But the answer is to get rid of a religious state, a state based on favoring one people. That can't happen under the present, with the present forces that exist. It would be a disaster and a debacle. What you need is the emergence of revolutionary forces basing themselves on emancipating people from all forms of oppression and eliminating all forms of inequality among peoples, and creating a state there that would be for the benefit of the great majority of people, both Jewish and Palestinian. And right now that seems like a pipe dream, but it's the only just and viable resolution of the acute contradictions there.